Brenda Talent is now the executive director of the Show Me Institute, which is an organization dedicated to improving the quality of life for all citizens of Missouri by advancing sensible, well-researched solutions to state and local policy issues. Please help me welcome Brenda Talent.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and now 3. 3 more years before the end of Barack Obama's presidency. As a country, we have endured 5 years of the grossest fiscal irresponsibility. The current unfunded liabilities of the federal government, including entitlements, is over $85 trillion. We're staring bankruptcy in the face, and that fault lies with both parties. But we do have a president who has obstructed every attempt to prevent it while there's still time. In a few days, the next wave of Obamacare rules may go into effect. Healthcare premiums are rising across this country. This law is causing employers to convert workers from full-time to part-time in order to avoid the effects of the law. Major labor unions who supported this law are now denouncing it as the end of the 40-hour work week. Now, the president promised 5 years ago to end the divisions between blue and red states. Now it seems his administration takes every opportunity to drive a wedge between Americans based upon class and race. The economy continues to stagger. Almost the entire decrease in unemployment since the recession is due to people dropping out of the labor force because they can't find a job. And all over the world, the risk to America and its vital interests are growing. Is this the hope people were hoping for 5 years ago? Is this the change that America wanted when it voted for change? And in the face of all of this, what is the president's vision for America? Where does he want our country to go? What is his goal for national greatness? Well, you know something? We actually know all about that. It was spelled out in the life of Julia. Do you remember Julia? She's a cartoon figure who appeared in the president's ads in the 2012 campaign. Julia had a baby, she had a career, but she didn't have a husband, and she didn't need one. At every step in her life, the great partner was the federal government. And that federal government took care of her every need. Now here's what the ad didn't tell you about the Julias of the world. Kids born into families without a father are roughly twice as likely to drop out of school, twice as likely to have emotional or behavioral problems, more than twice as likely to be arrested for a juvenile crime, 3 times more likely to do some jail time, and 50% more likely to experience poverty as an adult. That's what happens when you take the dads away from the children and give them government instead. Now I ask you, is this the future you want for your children and your grandchildren? Oh, come on, you've got more energy than that. Is this the future? Well, good morning to you all. Welcome to St. Louis and the counter-revolution. I am Brenda Talent. I'm the executive director of the Show Me Institute. We promote free market solutions to public policy issues here in Missouri. I'm also a wife, the mother of 3 children, none of whom are named Julia, a lawyer, and a former Army captain. Today you're going to hear from a number, and already have, from a number of inspiring speakers who are going to discuss national issues. And thank goodness they're looking at those issues because we've got some real problems. But let's be honest. There hasn't been a lot of good news coming out of Washington recently, and there probably won't be in the immediate future. But I am here to share some good news. The battles for liberty are not just in Washington. They are in our communities and in our states. And I'm going to tell you Major battles for the hearts and minds of people are being won in the states. In Wisconsin, Governor Scott Walker took on the public sector unions to get his state's budget under control. The progressives tried to recall him, and they failed. Under Governor Walker, unions are now accountable to their members through regular elections on whether to retain their representations. According to one poll in Wisconsin, an astonishing 83% of union households want the freedom to be able to say yay or nay to union representation through elections. In Louisiana, kids who were trapped in failing schools now have the ability to go to a school where they can succeed. Other states, including Arizona, Pennsylvania, have also responded to the need of students in poorly performing districts by creating creative ways to give them access to other schools, including private schools. In Kansas, Governor Brownback did the unthinkable. He cut income taxes because he believes that growth will come if you let people keep and invest more of what they earn. And just a few weeks ago, a couple of state senators in Colorado learned you really shouldn't tread on the Constitution. After voting for laws that infringe on the Second Amendment, the president of the Colorado Senate and one of his colleagues were recalled from office. Here in Missouri, people have voted overwhelmingly against Obamacare, and last year the state legislature refused to create a health care exchange under that law. Within the state of Missouri, yes, you can applaud, we at the Show Me Institute are promoting educational choice, working for elimination of the income tax, and opposing the insidious spread of big government and central planning to all levels of government. The Show Me Institute is the only free market think tank in Missouri. We're guided by the knowledge bore out by more than 200 years of American history that free markets work better in creating wealth than central planning or government-planned programs, and that the genius and compassion of a free people will produce far better results to the problems facing our nation and our state than government. Now, there are similar think tanks in the other 49 states. I hope you learn about the one in your state. You can learn about the Show Me Institute at showmeinstitute.org. We're here for you as a vital resource in defending liberty against those who see government as the master and not as a servant of the people. And the battle we're engaged in, the battle for ideas, the battle for freedom is ongoing. It's not going to end in the next 3 years or the next 30 years. I asked you a question when I began, but now I'm going to ask some personal questions. Will you stand for freedom? If the response is that weak, we're in trouble. Will you stand for freedom? Do you believe that you can do a better job than government of providing for yourself, providing for your children, of managing your money? And do you believe that the welfare state we've created has been an abysmal failure and destroyed lives? Will you fight for what you believe in? Will you fight for what you believe in? Over the next 3 years, there are going to be very many important local engagements in this battle for freedom. Engagements that are going to happen in our localities, in our communities, in our state. Make no mistake, the outcome of those battles will determine the future of our country. For the first time in my life, that future's in real doubt. I can't close this speech by pretending that it's morning in America. Decisions have consequences. Nations, like men, reap what they sow. The last 5 years, we have sown a bitter seed. The fruit it bears in the years ahead will test our unity, our charity, our wisdom, and our faith, as this generation of Americans have never been tested before. Amen. To quote Winston Churchill, "Do not suppose that this is the end. This is only the beginning of the reckoning. This is only the first sip. the first foretaste of a bitter cup which will be proffered to us year by year, unless by a supreme recovery of moral health and martial vigor, we arise again and take our stand for freedom as in the olden time. So rise, take your stand. As Edmund Burke said, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. God bless you and God bless America.